Hey guys, DJ Ravine here.
And this is DJ Cotts.
And we have the new Pioneer DJM-S9, courtesy of
DJ Tech Tools. And we're going to be reviewing it today, unboxing, running through the whole thing, letting you guys know if it's worth the purchase.
Let's get started. Okay, so we have the new Pioneer DJM-S9 and it is amazing.
Looks really pretty actually, straight away, first impressions.
I like the buttons. They're not actually pushy buttons, they're like velocity sensitive type.
Yeah.
In the box you've got your power cable, USB cable. You also get Serato CD.
Alright, so as always, the first thing you want to do whenever you get part of your gear, and this is now mixers included, not just CDJs, is update your firmware. On the DJM-S9, it's a little bit tricky. You basically hold the back button and the parameter left button and turn it on. This light will illuminate, and that's it. The whole mixer, it's not doing anything, but it's now in update mode, ready to go. Head over to the Pioneer website, download the latest software, and then run the updater file. Select your language, and then there we go. Current version's 103. There's a new one out, 104 at the time of filming this. Hit start, and then we'll send in the update file, and we should be all good to go. New features, new bug fixes, definitely update. Alright, so let's go through the layout of the DJM-S9 from Pioneer. It's pretty standard, what you'd expect of many battle mixers on the market today. Up in the top third of the mixer, we've got pretty much a lot of your EQ controls. Leveling, high, mid, low, we've got trim pots here. Also, we've got a always on filter. You don't need to turn this on each channel. It's on all the time, so you can just grab it and use it instantaneously. Also on the left and the right of the mixer here, we have controls for the track selection in Serato, so you can bring up tracks here just on the mixer without having to touch your keyboard and mouse. We've got loop controls there. Now coming down into this sort of beat effects section in the center of the mixer here, on the left we have the hardware beat FX select, and they're all done in hardware in the mixer. You don't have to have Serato on to use those effects, and they're triggered by these toggles here on each channel, and they're really, really nice to use. You can smash them as pretty hard all the time. And also up is lock, down is not lock for that effects on. Also on the right here, we've got the Serato effects selection. So if you do have it plugged in at the time to a computer, you can bring up all sorts of customized effects. We've got the depth and the level controls for this, whatever effect you have selected here. And that's basically turns to the parameters of the effect in Serato if you've got Serato's effect selected, or the parameters of the beat hardware effects there as well. We've got the timing parameter selection in the middle here, so you can change basically the beat, how many beats that particular effect applies to in the middle. Coming down, we've got then these performance pads, which really stand out in this mixer. They're multicolor, look really, really awesome, and they allow you to really unleash that creativity, especially for people that are doing a lot of turntablism, beat juggling. Lately, Serato's made a huge play in that sort of turntablism game, and lots of people are using it to trigger effects and bring more variety and richness into their turntablism skills. So we've got basically 16 pads here, one for each channel. You can use them together or independently. We can bring up hot cues, samples in Serato, rolls, or the slicer. Now, if you have Serato plugged in, these effects all work with Serato. If you don't, they control the timings of the hardware effects that are on this mixer on the left here. Coming down even further, we've also got our headphone controls here, level mixing, basically our crossfader for which channel we're monitoring at the time. Volume of our sampler, all important, especially as I said for those turntablism sets, and these absolutely brilliant faders on this mixer, which Ravine will talk about in just a second. Coming down to the front of the mixer here, we've got full microphone controls for MCs in your sets. We can add echoes, really EQ that mic to get it sounding right. And on the right, the crossfader control, so you can adjust the full feeling to make sure that you can scratch how you want to scratch. Also, 2 headphone inputs, which have been really showing up lately on a lot of Pioneer mixers. And pretty awesome, intuitive layout. Regardless of what mixer you've ever used in the past, you'll be able to pick this one up, get very familiar with it, and get very technical. All right, so just quickly run through the connections on the back of this mixer. We've got a standard 3-prong power plug, and this mixer supports 110 to 240 volt. We've got 2 channels here. We've got phono and CD line connectors on both. There is no digital on this mixer. We've also got the master out. We've got XLR connections for club, and we've also got awesome ground pins here, much better than the ground pins on that previous Pioneer scratch mixers. They're all metal, get really good connections there. We've got a standard booth jacks here, microphone inputs, which is an XLR and headphone, and also we've got 2 USB ports, so you can have 2 Serato laptops plugged in at a time, switch over between laptops seamlessly, or battle someone else in Serato. And yeah, it's pretty much got everything you need to connect to whatever system you have at the time.
Alright, so here are the faders on the DJM-S9. Some of the best faders I've ever used. Basically this one, the new crossfader on this is a Mag-Vel Fader Pro. Now it's a magnetic contactless fader. Same stuff that you would find on a comparable Rain mixer. It's basically a magnetic crossfader and the best faders that you can possibly have. It's so smooth, perfect for scratching. Any scratch DJ would love it. Now you can compare that to the one on the DJM-900 SRT. Now the SRT also has a magnetic crossfader, but it's just not quite on the same level as the one on the DJM-S9. Also, the up faders on this are absolutely buttery smooth. I've never actually used such smooth up faders. They feel fantastic. Now you compare it to the ones on the 900 SRT and they're absolutely stiff in comparison. Now, these aren't bad. They're actually really good faders on the 900 SRT, but the S9 is just on a completely new level. Also, you've got your crossfader adjustments. You've got your tension adjustment for your crossfader, which is great, heavy or light, standard crossfader curve, and you can also adjust the curves of the up faders individually as well, and reverse switches on all of them. So very, very good from Pioneer. Pretty much thought of all the stuff that a scratch DJ would love. Now, as I said earlier, scratching on this is an absolute joy. The fader is perfect. Now, crab scratching. I'm normally not that good at crab scratching, but with this, very easy. It feels like it actually kind of bounces off the side. Every other kind of scratch technique, really good because it is just so light. And not light, so light that it kind of just does its own thing. It's very buttery. It's very hard to explain. You gotta actually use it yourself. If you're a scratch DJ, you'll absolutely love it. So, another thing that's really good is that the cut is very, very, very tight. So if we keep this playing, actually we'll do it with this song. As you can see, I've got just over to the edge, okay, and now it's cut. I'm just gonna move a tiny bit. And it cuts in, so I think that's only about 2 millimeters. Very, very good for very good for really quick cuts.
Come on, what's wrong? Come on, what's wrong?
All right, so I'm gonna run through the hardware effects on the DJM-S9. What we have here, first and foremost, is the all-important filter. It's always locked on. Dedicated control for it, really, really important, so you can just grab it at any time and do your filtering. We've got the beat effects here on the left, 6 of them. We've got echo, backspin, flanger, reverb, vinyl break, and phaser, and also the effects timings and parameter controls here in the middle of the mixer. You turn each effects on and off independently with these nice big switches here, channel independent, and you can turn them on briefly just for a second by pushing the switch down, or you can lock the effect on by moving the switch up. Now they are all post-fader effects, which means that you can turn the effect on, drop the fader, and have a really nice effect bleed through. So, echo. Also backspin here. And we can change the timing of that. And also change the level or the depth of that effect. Fade it in and out of the mix as we like. Also, these effects are after the software Serato effects in the effects chain. So you can do something with the software effects, then put a hardware effect on top of that. This is especially apparent with something like roll. So I can trigger a roll and trigger an echo on that. And you can hear that come through into the music. We've got flanger here. Reverb. Also vinyl break. And phaser. Also, of course, you need, because they are beat effects, you need to make sure that your BPM is correct. And you tap that in the middle here. Pretty straightforward stuff, but also a bit of a departure from the standard color effects that we're used to on some of Pioneer's other DJM mixes. But this is mainly geared towards the turntablist, so really it's got everything there that you need if you just want those quick effects in there in your sets.
Busy on the tempo, coming on strong. I'm so correct, so you better get a move on.
All right, just touching up on what Dave said earlier about the hardware effects, you've also got the Serato effects here. They work pretty much exactly the same as you would with the hardware effects. It's just that these 6 buttons now control 6 Serato effects that are in the software itself. So you select the effect that you want it to control. We've got low pass, delay, reverb. Don't know if you can see that, but it works exactly the same as the hardware one. So you flip the switch here and it'll set that effect. And same, this depth knob just controls the depth knob on the Serato effects. Now let's go on to performance pads. The pads control one of 4 things. So you control that here. You've got either the hot cue, roll, slicer, or sampler. Hot cue works just as you would expect. You press the that pad and it plays that hot cue. So that's my first one. If you want to set new ones, you just press an empty pad. So that hot cue is now set. If you have if you make a mistake and you want to delete it, just hold the shift button and press the pad, deletes them right off. So you can also use this to do some really cool stuff. I set it to the melody and you can actually replay the melody. So something like this. Very, very fun to use. Roll, standard, as you would expect. It's pretty much the same as you would find on a DDJ-SX. Pressing each button will change the roll timing, so. Parameters here will change the roll timing, so I'm gonna make it tighter. Or looser. Very, very cool. However, one thing is, it's already quantized. I don't think there's a way to turn it off. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I've tried everything, I can't get the quantize off. Slicer, that's another cool one. Now, as you can see, there are 8 lit red buttons and 1 blue one. So the blue, each button represents 1 beat, and the blue one is the beat that the song is currently on. Now, if we press any of these buttons, it'll go back to that beat. So it's very, very difficult to use, but if you can nail it, you can put some really cool stuff with that. Just takes a bit of practice. And sampler, pretty straightforward. You can load samplers. You can load samples straight into Serato, and it will play them for you when you press the pad. So I've just got some drums set onto it. Pretty cool and very easy to use. The pads themselves, very, very nice. They are just like, actually they're really similar to the SX and the SZ pads, just a lot smaller. Actually feel a lot like my Launchpad Pro pads, so very cool. So this is the Pioneer DJM-S9. Let's wrap up. What do you think?
I think it's absolutely awesome, especially for someone that is a scratch DJ and turntablist. My first thoughts when you got it out of the box, it's the first Pioneer mixer that uses this glass top up here. It looks the part and it feels really, really solid. These switches are built to last, and also they're sort of the first faders I've used, which felt as though I don't need to be gentle with them. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they're definitely the best scratch faders I've ever used. For scratching, Can't go past this.
It's really the successor to this one here, which Ravine has abused over many years.
It is one of my favorite mixes of all time.
The DJM-909.
Yeah, I feel like this is the spiritual successor to the 909.
Yeah, definitely, but with lots of improvements. Most notably, again, as we said, build quality. These switches here, I noticed you've broken quite a lot of these toggles.
Yeah.
This has been around for how long now? You've had it for about 10 years?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So, yeah, you know, it stands up. If I can stand up for 10 years, this can definitely stand up for even longer. Let's see, what else? Would you buy one?
I don't think it really hits my target market directly. For me, it's more the DJM-900s of the world, but for someone like you and other turntablists out there.
Definitely, someone like me, someone that likes to do a bit more scratching. If you're more of a scratch DJ, you would absolutely love this, okay? Because this bridges the gap between scratch and mixing DJ.
Yeah.
Because with mixing DJs, you kind of want to have those effects.
Yeah.
It's very important that you have that kind of stuff while you're mixing. But the problem with that is generally, before, okay, it kind of worked like this. If you're a scratch DJ, you had your scratch mixes. If you're mixing, you had your mixing mixes. This kind of is great. It's like a middle ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel also it give you a lot of sort of ability to be creative in your sets, especially the ability to pull up your sampler and your hot cues really quickly.
Oh yeah, these pads, amazing. You can definitely do some really cool stuff with that. Where can you get one?
You can get them at DJ Tech Tools. $1,700 this mixer will set you back at the moment.
That's not cheap, but you get what you pay for.
Exactly. As I said, this one was about the same price back in the day, and it's gone the distance, still works. So yeah,
absolutely fine.
Worth really good investment.
Anyways, guys, that's the Pioneer DJM-S9.
Hope you enjoyed it. For more content, definitely check out djtechtools.com.
And you can also pick it up at djtechtools.com.
That's it.
Very cool. 10 out of 10, game of the year.